Hello folks, I'm here to do an impressions video today of a recent firearm that I just purchased. Uh, as you can tell, this is going to be a Kimber, and a lot of people don't like Kimbers, but this is my third Kimber, and I've been pretty lucky with Kimbers. So therefore, hopefully, I will continue to have good luck. So knock on wood, hopefully I will be able to continue having a good streak with the Kimber products that I've bought. I'm a big fan of 1911, so this is my Kimber Stainless Ultra 2, which is the Ultra meaning that it's the compact or like an officer's model. The other models are the Pro, which is more like the commander size model, which is about the 4 inch. And then, of course, you have your government model size, which is your 5 inch. There were a few things on this firearm that I really like. But first of all, the first thing that stands out that you look at this are the True Glow sights that are on this. These are not tritium, I don't think. I believe these are the fiber optic. As you see, there's the fiber optic on the tops of these, where the amount of light will enable you to look down the sights and to get a good sight picture. And that's one of the reasons why I like this particular firearm, because it already had this installed. The previous owner of this firearm installed those on there, and because in the catalog year of 2016, if I'm correct, 2015, 2016, these were the original sights that were on this firearm. The original owner happened to leave these in there in case I wanted to swap them out or whatever the case may be. And as you see, this is the front sight for this firearm here. The problem is with these sights is if you try to acquire a target, and some of your targets at certain ranges are going to be black with the white outlines for the X and so forth. You're not really going to get a good sight picture because this black is going to be blending into the target. So a lot of people automatically change these sights out on this firearm automatically. They'll get either True Glow, or they might get some other type of fiber optic. Even if not a fiber optic, they'll probably get something like a one of those sites that glow in the dark. I got tongue tied there for a minute, but the thing about these particular sites, these are, like I said, the stock, and Kimber considers this particular model their foundation line. The foundation line is more what you would call, for lack of a better word, your Econoline uh, pistol. It's the platform which most of their firearms are built on, and then of course as you get up higher and higher in different types of firearms with them, they have a different grade. You jump up from this to the two tone, or you'll go to something like a Raptor 2, or the Super Carry, and that's what they do. They start on the basic platform, because mostly their basic firearms are going to usually have the single-sided left side safety, and of course you don't see it on the other side. Uh, what I'm going to tell you is also I did add a few cosmetic things here. I only added one thing. It's this piece right here. This piece is the magwell. Just so you know, this gun is unloaded. I just put this here just so you see how it would look. This magwell enables you to feed the magazine in properly. I like the Wilson Combat magwells because all you have to do is take the grips off and you hook it in. Most of your people that usually get these magwells on there, it's usually get the mainspring, and the mainspring is connected to the magwell, and it's usually a metal magwell. A lot of people don't like the Kimber mainspring housings right here. They don't like them because they're plastic. To me, it doesn't make a difference. I don't care. It pretty much works for me, and that's the basically the only thing that I don't really worry about. These are your basic Kimber magazines right here. Uh, I did have the Kimber base plates here, so I just installed that on there. I just happen to like the way they are, and especially if you have a mag well, you're going to have these because originally this is flush. This will not. You won't be able to, I guess, securely put the magazine in because it would be the magazine itself with base plate would be here, and you have your mag well sticking out here. So I tend to always do a base plate for this. Also, the first thing I do automatically when I buy any 1911, the first thing I do is I get extra magazines. Uh, Kimber makes a magazine called the Kim Protac mags. They are pretty good, but if you really want something for the bang for the buck, you would like to get Wilson Combat magazines. Usually, when there's problems with 1911 pistols, it's usually because of the magazine itself. So, usually Wilson Combat are one of the best magazine makers out there right now in the market. So get yourself these. I don't have any experience with the Chip McCormick magazines, but I heard they're very good. And Metgar makes magazines as well. I'm not familiar with Metgar magazines in 1911s, but I hear that they are pretty good reputable company. Uh, the thing about 1911s, they are you either love them or you hate them, and especially when you go from a full size 1911 pistol and you're going into the ultra size, you're really pushing the limits because you want to be able to have an accurate pistol, but most of all, you don't want a pistol that's going to malfunction. And that's why a lot of people are very leery of 1911 style pistols because they don't want to deal with the mechanical functions. If you're going to be a 1911 pistol user, you have to be dedicated to that firearm. You have to be dedicated on maintenance. You're going to have to be dedicating on keeping it clean as well as making sure all the functions are working properly on this firearm. Like I said before, this is the foundation line of the Kimber product here. The I like these grips. These are rosewood grips, and I thought about going for the G10 grips or whatnot, but I'm pretty much a basic guy. I'm not going to even change these grips because these grips give me a good purchase on this firearm. Even though I would like to have had some type of checkering in the front strap, because it is smooth, and you never know because if your hands get wet, it might can be a little slippery. But if you got a good grip, you're going to do okay with this. One other thing that people don't like about the Kimber is its takedown because this has a bull barrel bushing here, so you don't have that regular bushing that you have with it with the other 1911s. And to break this down, it does require a tool to break this down. I've seen on the internet where people have done it without the tool, uh, and some companies have put out a special tool that looks like a little clip that goes in between here, so you can hold the the spring mechanism, so you'll be able to break it down. But this makes a lot more sense because this is like the average size of a paper clip. So let's say if you lose these tools, if you lose this, you think you're out of luck, just grab yourself a regular paper clip and you'll be able to put the pen where it should be. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay, I was talking about earlier before I had to cut my phone off to do this. There is a little hole. I don't know if you could see it or not, but there's a little hole where the pen goes in, and what the pen does, it helps depress the spring. And I'm gonna try to get a better angle for you to see that. With this lighting, you're not going to see it, but there's a pinhole right about there where my thumb is. And what you do is you put the pin in there, and as you break the firearm down, you take out the slide lock, the slide lock lever, and you take that down like any other 1911. And as you take the slide off, it will capture the spring and everything else together, and then you will be able to break it down. I would do that for you, but unfortunately, I'm doing this one-handed. But if you want to find out, you can go onto other sites on YouTube, and you'll see them breaking this firearm down. A lot of people think it's an inconvenience to break it down that way. I don't personally care. It doesn't bother me any way or another way. Uh, I'm going to show you one thing about this pistol that some people don't know, some people already do know about what I'm about to show you. Okay, here is my other Kimber. It's a Super Carry Ultra. Uh, like I said to you before, when you say the word ultra, it's basically like an officer's model. The thing about this firearm, if you look in the back of this Super Carry Ultra, if you can see underneath, if you can see really good underneath, let's see if I can set this up a little way so I could point it out to you. Under here, under here, you'll notice that there is no firing pin block here. That is known what a Series 70 1911 pistol is, has inside. The firing pin blocks are usually on different models of different 1911 pistols, and it's usually in this particular area right here you'll be able to see a firing pin block, but this is representing a Series 70 1911 pistol. A lot of people prefer the not having the firing pin block inside a Series 70 or style pistol because they say it gives a better trigger pull, or at least give you a better break for the trigger. Now on this particular gun, the new one I just purchased, the stainless Ultra 2, you're going to see that there is a firing pin block. If I can maneuver this like I want it to. Okay, the firing pin block on here is right about here. The firing pin block is black in color. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to have to break it down because you're not really seeing this good on the camera. Okay, I got this broken down. I can't find my other takedown tool for this one, but I just wanted to show you that the firing pin block mechanism would have been somewhere over here in this particular area. Yeah, if I'm correct, it would have been over here. Now, on this particular model, you can actually see the firing pin block. The firing pin block is actually right here in this section right here, and some people prefer that. Mostly likely you've seen firing pin blocks on Glocks or other striker fire pistols, but on the 1911 pistols, they are considered the Series 80 pistols because they had that particular firing pin block right here. This would be considered a Series 70 because it does not have that firing pin block. I do believe that certain states require or municipalities require that you have to have a firing pin block on your firearms, or else it will be subject to be labeled as an illegal gun under the DOJ. So Department of Justice, that is. So that's why maybe in some areas, some municipalities, for liability reasons, they will not allow this particular firearm to be sold because it's a Series 70 and it has no firing pin block, and this is a Series 80, has a firing pin block. And coincidentally, if you notice that this particular Kimber is called a stainless ultra carry 2. Or I know you've heard of firearms called the from Kimber called the Raptor 2 or the CDP 2. Well, that 2 designates that this particular firearm has the firing pin block in it. So anytime you see Ultra Carry 2 or Raptor 2, CDP 2, or TLE 2, that means that that particular Kimber model has a Series 80 firing pin block. I mentioned briefly before about sometimes with Kimbers, a lot of people are not happy with Kimbers, and most of your malfunctions that will happen with the not only with Kimbers but with 1911 pistols are going to be because of the magazine. And to remedy that, I mentioned before that you should get a Wilson Combat magazine, so it has a better feeding, and there's not that problem of having a dip in the front where the round will dip down and then it would not feed properly. Well, there's another issue that sometimes 1911s have. It's the slide catch lock. Uh, a lot of times, I know people that had Kimbers before and they had issues with some type of malfunction or feeding. It's usually because of this piece here. And it's because right in this section here, I believe this is the newer corrected version. There, this piece here, it would stick out, and when the round was either feeding or being extracted or something of that nature, mainly in the feeding mode, it would hit or get hung up, or somehow it would get caught. So what the people I know did, they contacted Kimber, and their customer service kind of troubleshooted the issue over the phone, and they basically sent them a new version of this slide catch. And once they installed that slide catch, there have not been any problems with their Kimbers at all. A lot of people will also go to Wilson Combat and get another type of slide catch and from Wilson Combat, and they would correct the problem that way. So that's just another tip for those of you who think 1911s have some type of issue, or Kimber has some type of issues. Those are the two quick fixes. The other problem is going to be basically ammo. These guns are very, very, very picky on ammo. Uh, I've been I've been shooting very well with this particular firearm. I've been using anything from Federal HSTs, gold dots, but this gun will not fire very well with MagTech ammo. It seems to, for some reason, create a lot of dirt inside, and I would have like maybe four malfunctions, whether it may be maybe it'll be not going up the ramp properly or not enough blowback from the round. So I don't use the MagTech ammo in this. So I just stick with the either Federal Winchester white box or any other reputable company. I will have to find that out on this new firearm. I like the HSTs a lot, and I'm going to try to run those through this. But the main thing is these 1911s were made for really ball ammo. So you will want something that has like a a circular cone at the top. So something like a gold dot or something like the HST where it can feed properly. And you would, in my personal opinion, a lot of people will disagree with me. I prefer to use a 230 grain bullet, and that's what this gun was designed for, a 230 grain bullet. I'm not going to change from that, go with lighter or with a lighter round, a lighter bullet weight or anything like that. And another thing, especially with a gun this size, and I am not sure if I mentioned to you, but with a gun this size, this is an alloy frame, and this alloy frame is made for concealed carry, and it's supposed to be a little bit lighter for you to carry. So I wouldn't want like a 45 ACP plus P to go in here. I think it will add a little more stress to the frame. You'll do fine with just regular 230 grain ammo. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that have experimented and done a lot of other testing, but I'm just going to stick with that. I'm just old fashioned that way, and that's the way it is for me. Just stand by, and I'm just going to get these guns back apart together. Okay, I'm back. I finally got these back. Got that one back together. Uh, One other thing is too, if you, I just showed you these differences between these firearms. Another difference is price between these two firearms. Uh, like I said, this is the foundation line. In the foundation line, with this, like I said, is more like your econo line type firearm. This gun here is actually roughly about $600 cheaper than this one on the MSRP. And there are some reasons for that. And what I did was I decided to contact the Kimber master dealer and ask them, was there really a big difference between both of these firearms? He said functionally and basically the quality of both firearms, they're basically are the same pistol. You're just paying for extra. Let's say there's the front checkering for serrations here, different grips. Uh, as you see, this one has ambidextrous safeties. This already has the Metrolite sights on it already, night sights. There's serrations at the top of here, which takes time and fine tuning right here. Uh, and the serrations here, which are totally different. And both of these are subject to high tolerances, tight tolerances. Also, they both have a bull barrel that are match grade triggers. Even though this one's it's not skeletalized like the other one, but it's a good match grade trigger. This one's a great match grade trigger. I've actually been dry firing them both to see if there's any difference. The pull feels the same to me on both of them. And like you see here, there's no safety here, but there is a safety here on this one. Like I did not add, as you see, I did not add the Wilson Combat curve here because this particular model is kind of has its own curve in the mainspring housing, and I don't think that would install very well. So that's why I left that alone. I also found out that there are some other subtle differences between the two. If you look behind, in the rear of both of these, it looks like the stainless 2 on the left is a tad bit thicker than the Super Carry Ultra on the right. And as you bring them up, they look a little bit, the stainless 2 still looks a little bit wider. And if you look up top here, if I can just focus it a little better, it looks like it's a little bit longer. I've shot the Super Carry Ultra a lot, and under recoil, it's it's really great. It doesn't feel like I'm shooting a 45, and I attribute that to how the gun was designed, low borax, and plus your double spring that's inside here. I'm expecting the same here. I broke them both down and before looked at the springs, and the springs are pretty much identical. Even if you go on the Kimber website, you could still see that the same part will fit the same part here, even though this one looks a little bit thicker. And to me, I think that this one feels a tad bit heavier. Uh, the Kimber website views both of these as 25 ounces with a magazine unloaded. So I don't know. I think this. I've carried this a couple times, and what I like is the slimming effect of this. This is going to be in my carry rotation. I wanted something that was going to be well, since this is the foundation line, since it's supposed to be a gun that's not a custom shop pistol, I felt as though that if I take this, carry this out, if I drop it or anything like that, I'm not going to be as upset dropping this versus dropping this. This one costs a lot more money than this one. And I got this one also cheaper because this, like I said, this is a used firearm. And as you can see, when I had it apart, it was very, very clean when I opened it. Opened broke these down so you can see the inside of this one. And I have roughly about maybe 1,000 rounds on this one right now. So it's pretty much broken in pretty well. I believe this one is broken in pretty well also because the person that had this before me, I'm pretty sure he wanted probably use this as his own carry weapon, especially if he installed these type of sights on here. So I'm pretty sure that this is broken in, but it's always good to check to see how this feeds and how this performs. And I'm looking forward to checking this out, and I'm looking forward to carrying this in the summer. I'll rotate this somewhat back and forth. It seems like I like the 45 caliber pistol, but the problem is with the caliber is it's hard, I guess, to build a gun around the caliber. The only other compact 45 I have is my Glock 30. And my Glock 30, to me, it's a little more girthier than these two, and it was a little more. Uh, I can get away with it carrying it in the winter as opposed in the summer because it gets a little bit uncomfortable. I guess in the summer with particular clothing, it seems like it's really fat on the handle end, but it's one of my favorite Glocks. This, on the other hand, is a gun that I really like because it's known to have that nice slim side, so I can carry it on the side or appendix. I mainly carry my firearms appendix and don't have any problems with it. Especially this particular firearm, I plan to carry appendix, especially now that this has that extra safety in there. You like I said, the firing pin block, and I normally carry cocked and locked, so you got the beaver tail safety, you have the firing pin safety, plus your manual safety, and also you have your what they call the hammer drop safety on 1911s. Some people call that quarter cock or half cock, but that's just in case your finger slips and your finger slips and lets go the hammer, and it will catch it. So when you do that, that's a measure of protection also. But so with the hammer block safety, sure, I have no problems carrying this appendix style. I don't really have any problems carrying this appendix style, but this will be the one that I'll be using the most. Uh, I think it just about covered everything on this firearm. Just let me know what you think about this firearm. I know I don't see a lot of videos of this on YouTube. Um, but like I said, 1911s are one of my favorite pistols, and especially in the ultra size or compact size. I don't know why I happen to like the compact size. A lot of people think it's going to be a lot of recoil, but I tend to like these a great deal. So let me know what you think about this, and if you, hopefully, maybe I gave you an idea to get a compact 1911. Well, if not, so be it. But take care. Happy shooting.